I just watched that video of Mr. Andy Ogles, representative of Tennessee, questioning whether last night's tragedy in the Potomac is a result of DEI. This is pretty fucking low by a lot of standards, especially not even 12 hours out from the crash happening. And again, let's bring everybody back to class on DEI. They're going to go and look at like who was in charge that night. And a lot of folks who are against DEI are going to see either a woman or a brown person and go, oh, that was a DEI hire. Like, just that assumption off the bat. They're not going to look at their qualifications because there's no way a woman or a brown person could be legitimately appointed in those positions. It had to be a DEI hire that they're there. Say this part out loud, because this is what's happening when you call someone of color or female persuasion or who's a lesbian or who's not a white man. You call them immediately a DEI hire when mistakes happen. Do you hear the ludicrousness of that thinking with me just saying it out loud? Because that's what you're saying when you accuse someone of being a DEI hire. But if this was a white male in charge, we would not hear you say DEI hire, would you? Would you say, oh, well, he was a DEI hire? If you see a white guy in charge of the air traffic, would you call him a DEI hire? Of course you won't. And in that alone, you're acknowledging the systemic racism and problem in this country, but completely missing that point because you're a racist. You're fucking prejudiced. Fun fact, when someone opts to look through a bunch of resumes and they purposely are saying, we are looking for veterans to hire, that's DEI in action. Because a lot of veterans face discrimination when being hired, in the process of hiring anyway. There's peer-reviewed studies out there about this everywhere. That's why there's so many veteran programs and tax credits for businesses that hire veterans. If veterans had such an easy time of getting hired, we wouldn't need federal programs offering incentives for businesses to hire them, now would we? Can you acknowledge there's that same issue with women? There's that same issue with people of color. There's that same issue with those who are disabled. There's that same issue with those who are trans or part of the gay community. The government literally has to offer tax incentives through DEI programs because of prejudice assholes like you. Prejudice asshole. Because again, if we see that it was a white male in charge of the air traffic control, or it was white men flying these planes, you would not say, oh, it was a DEI hire. Do you hear yourself? Because if your default thinking is it's DEI because they're female or brown or disabled or gay, you're saying there's no way they would have gotten hired to begin with without help. You're acknowledging the problem while like completely being smashed into the point and missing it anyway. Like literally say these things out loud. Talk to yourself privately out loud. Have a conversation with yourself saying this and listen, hear what you're saying, and then understand that the fact that he is floating the idea that this could be a DEI problem, guys, that means if that's a vet that was in charge of air traffic control, they were a DEI hire. And I know you don't believe that. And I know you wouldn't say that if it was a vet flying the American Airlines flight. Because why wouldn't they be qualified for the job? Why is a woman, a brown person, or a gay person automatically couldn't possibly be hired because they had the qualifications? That's literally what you're saying. That's your prejudice, your racism, when you're using DEI like that. How about instead we focus on finding out what we can do to ensure that we have a better complement of air traffic controllers? Did you know that they have a major shortage going on? I've had to write about this for years now. Air traffic control, TSA, they are so understaffed, and then Trump just fired a bunch of their heads of staff. And mind you, when Trump was last in office, he had the same problem with understaffing and burnout with these very critical parts of our air safety. But that's it. That's my end of my rant this morning. I just want to point out that you're a prejudiced, racist asshole when you're calling these things DI hires as soon as you see there's tits or skin color involved.